All right, today joining us, we've got Sayvia Sellers, Dalayah Daniels, and Elle Ladine. Percy, we'll get rolling with you here in the room.
Thank you. For Elle, obviously just being the first time here for Washington in a while, how do you guys combat the newness of it all and not being overwhelmed by just being here?
Yeah, I think we just take it day by day, and obviously we're blessed the past 2 years to have a postseason, so just taking from that and trying to apply it here. But yeah, one day at a time, one game at a time, that's kind of our mindset right now.
I don't think you know. It's on. But for a lot of folks, this first 4 game will be the first time that they see Washington play on this big stage. On Thursday night, just what is it that you see from the Huskies?
I think just play hard. Obviously, we want to be ourselves, but the best selves. That's what we have to bring to the tournament. So we're not going to be anyone that we're not. We're going to do what we do. And yeah, hopefully, we're playing our best basketball. But yeah, we're just going to be ourselves.
Fairly short turnaround, just in this 2 days here. Just what have you learned about Columbia? You think you have somebody on the team that actually played them, right? You have a Yale graduate sort of on the team there. So just what have you learned in these couple days? Just what can you guys do that'll help you tomorrow?
I think just not underestimating anyone outside of our conference, especially if we don't know them. So I think just trying to learn personnel as much as we can. They're a good team. They're disciplined, good defensive team as well. They're really active, really aggressive. So I think it'll be a good matchup for us. And, I think just being able to play in the Big Ten against different types of styles of play, I think we're prepared really well. So we're excited.
And how does it feel to end your career in an NCAA tournament?
I mean, I'm excited for this experience, excited to learn and grow, and I think we're just really focusing on the journey and not just the results. Just spending every single day with our teammates, trying to get the most out of every single day and just trying to pour love into everyone. And yeah, just trying to have a good time at the end of the day, so.
A couple of questions on Zoom, so we'll go ahead and take those, give Percy a break. Bella Munson, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you, and you can identify yourself and your outlet and go ahead with your question.
Hey guys, Bella Munson from The Next coming to you from Seattle. I know you guys probably had an idea that you would be making the tournament and it was more of a question of where. But just because it is the first time since 2017 that you're returning to the tournament, could you tell us, what you were feeling and what it felt like when you heard the program announced on Selection Sunday and you knew you'd be returning to the tournament?
I think obviously we were really excited, and just to be a part of a team that's been building towards making the NCAA tournament. Obviously it's really nice and really fun with this group of people. We put in a lot of work and we worked hard for it, so I feel like we deserve to be in it. So we're just excited to play basketball.
Response for that?
Exact thing. Just really excited and grateful and so blessed to see all our work behind the scenes kind of get shown, and hopefully we could display it on Thursday. But super excited, super grateful.
We'll move to Rowan. Rowan, go ahead and identify yourself and your outlet.
Rowan Shaver from The Next, also coming from Seattle. I know that Coach Langley mentioned that you all had kind of an average of 2.5 days of a break in February. What was it like having this long of a break, and also just, not fully knowing who you would be matching up with? How did you stay prepared while also taking that time to relax?
Yeah, I think having a long break was nice. I think it was just really good for us to be able to just reset, but also focus on the things that we had to clean up on. Obviously, during season, you don't have as much time to really work on a lot of things. You just kind of got to get right to the scout, maybe a few segments in practice, but I feel like this was just a really good time for us to just really reset and just focus on, what areas we have to be better on as a team and not carry a lot of those weaknesses into the postseason.
Sayvia, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I agree with everything Lay just said. She said that.
We're going to go back to Bella.
I'll try and direct my question to a specific person this time. Just, I'll ask you, Dalayah. Obviously, you guys ended the season, before the second round tournament loss on a 5-game win streak. You got your first conference tournament win since 2017. What does that give the team in terms of extra confidence or motivation going into this game? And just how are you feeling about sort of the history that you're making this season?
Yeah, I think I know Coach Langley had told me something a couple years back, but just like never letting the moment like shine brighter than the light that's within you. So I think just understanding that like we're here for a reason, and not letting the moment dictate how we're gonna perform on the court. This is just like any other stage that we've been playing on. So I think just being our best self, like Sayvia said, and just showing up every single day with intention, to detail, and just winning the moment. I think that's going to be big for our team this next week. So, yeah.
We'll go back to Rowan here.
For anyone, I know that this time that you had for this break, I'm sure you looked at a lot of film. I know Coach Langley was saying it was nice to have that time to look at your own personal film instead of kind of focusing on the scout. What were those main takeaways that you had that you kind of worked on, not even knowing what the team was you were matching up with, just personal areas of growth that you worked on?
Kind of just touching up and cleaning up the little things, like boxing out our defense. Just like it was a lot of the details that we couldn't really touch up on when we're trying to focus on the scout. So I think having that week to focus on stuff like that, the little things, is going to take us a long way and help us. So it was awesome.
Anything to add, ladies? Good? Okay. We'll move to Charles on the Zoom. Charles, go ahead and identify yourself and your outlet.
Hi guys, can you hear me all right? Okay, perfect. Charles Hamaker with Circling Seattle Sports, normally from Seattle. I'm in Arizona right now, so it's a lot sunnier than Seattle. Dalayah, I'll direct this to you just as a leader for this program and the senior here. How valuable is it for obviously your teammates next to you on either side, but also some of the younger players like a Devin, like a Chloe Briggs, to get this tournament experience? Because obviously the program seems to be on the up, and you were a big part in helping, start that with Tina. I know we talked about that back in Seattle earlier in the season.
Yeah, I think it's just a really special moment for us. I think Elle touched on it, like a lot of those unseen hours. Our underclassman, Devin, she came in alone in her class. She didn't really have a lot of people to kind of like fall back on, but I think she's worked tirelessly, like in the off season, and Sayvia and Elle, like this, our work ethic has gone through the roof, and I think a lot of those unseen hours are what's going to be on display tonight, or not tonight, but tomorrow. So I think, just enjoying the moment, enjoying each other, but also like recognizing like how far we've come, but not being content with where we are. So I think just trying to just reach to be the best version of ourselves and with each other.
Percy, you have anything else? Hey, hang tight a second. For the transcript, Percy, for the transcript.
Sorry about that. Do you guys have a sense as to how your run is sort of back home with your fan base? Do you have a sense of how much family or friends you'll like have here for Thursday night?
Wait, can you say that again? Like,
do you like have a sense as to what this is kind of like being felt like back home in Seattle?
Oh yeah, I mean, my family's really excited. I have a couple people coming up, and they don't get to see all the work we do day in and day out, but they're just so proud of us, and to come this far, they're all proud of us, and I know a lot of people in Seattle are as well.
And just before you guys hit the court, just what one thing would you like to sort of say to each other, like before you play that game?
Just to be ourselves. Like I feel like since it's March Madness, like people, think that they have to play different, but I think just playing how we always play. I feel like we've been playing our best basketball the past couple of games, and we were able to fix things. So just be confident in what we worked on, and I think it'll show in the game.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Appreciate it, and good luck.
Thank you.
We will be back shortly with Washington head coach Tina Langley. We will go ahead with Washington head coach Tina Langley. We'll start in the room. Percy, what do you got?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, earlier, Columbia players and coaches talked about being here, felt familiar. Obviously, they were in this game last year, and they feel very comfortable. You're guiding a team that hasn't been here. I don't think any of your players have been in this tournament. Just how do you get them comfortable for what's happening just with all of this, just things like this and the extra stuff that comes with this game?
Yeah, well, first, I would just say, I'm really grateful for who our players are. These young women are really special, and their families, and our staff and their families. And so the group that we have in the room, it takes a village right now in college athletics, and we have a great village. And so I think it's a very level-headed group of people we're grateful for moments. And so you can see new opportunities as something that's, it could be scary or different, or you can see them as something exciting and it'll bring out the best in you. And so we always want to provide an environment that would allow the best in our young people, and they do that for each other as well.
And on Sunday, you could sort of touched on how your sort of travel schedule may have prepared you for this. If you could sort of touch on that a bit of just about leaving the Pacific Northwest and just kind of making these trips and these quick turnarounds, and that'll help you for like Thursday night.
Absolutely. I mean, the Big Ten obviously was a new experience for us as well. So it's our first time to do some of these long trips. So when we saw Raleigh as an area that we would come to, it didn't feel like it might have felt in past years because we'd come across the country a few times to play. And so it just immediately kicks in, okay, these are the things we need to do to get ready to travel. And so I think it just gives you a sense of that you're prepared.
Just in these 2 days here, just what you learned about Columbia, things that they do. It seems like defensively they kind of match up well with you guys, and it would seem that the physicality is going to be a big part of this game tomorrow.
It's the NCAA Tournament, and so it's great teams playing against each other, and Columbia is a great team. It's a championship team, incredibly well coached, very disciplined. Really a lot of respect for this team. Fun to watch them on film, a lot to learn from them, a lot of things we can take away, but things that we need to prepare for. But they're doing a great job. They're playing really well, play at a high level, compete with everyone, and so it should be a great game.
They talked about wanting to maybe speed you guys up. How do you counter that?
Well, we love transition, and so it's an area that we feel like we excel in, and so it's a part of the game that we love. And so I think we both enjoy playing fast at times. I also think we both play disciplined at times. We both play, IQ basketball, what you want to do. So I think it should be a good balance on both ends.
Just like the last thing that you'll tell your team, before the court on Thursday?
I don't know exactly what the last thing would be that I would say, but I think that the game is always fun. I mean, we started playing this game of basketball when we were young because it's so much fun to play it. It's fun to compete. And we know what competition looks like, and we know what it feels like, and we know what it should feel like. And so we just want it to feel like it should feel, and not bigger, but just it's a great game, and we're excited to compete.
All right, we're going to move over to Zoom, and we'll start with Bella. Bella, if you can identify yourself and your outlet.
Hey, Coach. Bella Munson from the Next, coming to you from Seattle. I know we haven't had a chance to talk to you since Selection Sunday, and we know you probably had an idea that you would be in the tournament, but not where. But could you just, tell us a bit about, what it felt like when you heard that the program was returning to the tournament, and what it says about this program, and how you've really built it over the years since you went to Washington. Sorry.
Hey, Bella, it's good to get your question. Thank you. I think the first thing a lot of us had, we had a moment to reflect. from the time we arrived until now. And so there's so many amazing people associated with that, the start and through the years. And obviously so grateful to Washington and our administration for, for all the support that they've given us. And then the young people, the staff, the families, everyone that has been involved. So I love to take a moment and just reflect on that. And I think our student athletes are very grateful as well, because we, as Percy asked earlier, we've learned from one another along the journey and really invested in one another. So that night was really special because we had an opportunity to reflect, but we also got to think about the journey we've been on together. And the young women mentioned it earlier in their press conference about how it started really, immediately after our season ended. I don't feel like they took a break. We really tried to get them to, but immediately they were back in the gym and working hard. And so you just immediately think of the unseen. Everyone has this, what they see on game day, but it's the unseen is the reason that they're here today, and so, or that we're here. And so grateful for all the unseen hours that went into team building, the travel, the preparation of the staff, the players' commitment to, how they sleep, how they eat, from everything that they did in the unseen hours. And so I think all of that kind of runs through your mind at that time if you take a moment to reflect.
If you had another one, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Something that was sort of a thread throughout the season was in some of the losses, not quite having the full 40-minute performance, right? Quarters that were off. What do you think will be the key to having that full 40-minute performance on Thursday? And are you more confident at this point of the season and having, been on that win streak and finding your form towards the end of the season than you would be earlier in the season?
Yeah, it's so interesting. Our theme for this season was competitive stamina. And so we said that from the moment we came to our first team meeting, what a difference that would make. And so we said that's just being stronger a little longer each time we take the floor, whether it's a practice, an individual workout, or a game. And so we saw, obviously, in some games that our competitive stamina needed to grow. And I thought each game you would see growth. And I think that is really what led to the way we finished the season, is that we were learning how to be stronger for a little longer each time. And so we're still learning. We're a team that's, it's really fun to watch these young women and our staff work, and we're learning a lot together. We're getting better each day, and that's what we want to continue to be able to do.
We'll go to Rowan. Rowan, if you can identify yourself and your outlet.
Hey, Coach Langley, Rowan Shaberg from Circling Seattle Sports and the Next. This is your first year in the Big Ten, and that is now a conference that we know has the most number of teams in this tournament, including 2 number 1 seeds. The accolades go on, and all season we've been hearing coaches from other teams praise the squad that you've put together. But now on a national stage, when you're not positioned as a number 1 seed, there might be some teams coming into this that don't know much about what Washington basketball is, and they don't know how you've competed so closely in so many of these really high-level games. What would you kind of want people that don't know much about your team to know, and what threat do you bring to this tournament?
I think we're a great team, and I think that's what makes good teams, is that there's so many players on our team that can have a night, and multiple players having a night is really a lot of fun. And so I think we have more and more nights like that. And we've also learned the importance of being better at both ends. We are a pretty effective offensive team. We've learned to be a very disciplined defensive team. And so I think, again, we're just still growing. I'm so excited for the postseason because we say becoming is our theme of our program. It's our mission statement about helping and supporting and loving one another on our journey of becoming individually and collectively. And so this team's still becoming, and it's fun to watch who we can be by the end of the season.
Rowan, go ahead if you had another one.
And Columbia's head coach mentioned that you all have coached against each other before, I believe when, in different roles. But just knowing your experience, I think Percy mentioned obviously no one on your roster has had this kind of experience in the national tournament, but just what are you bringing from your past experiences, just coaching, knowing other coaches, knowing other teams that you can kind of pass on to your players, even though they haven't necessarily had that experience?
You know, experience or no experience, I think leadership is about understanding that you have to keep your mind focused on the process. It's our habits that really show in critical moments, like what do you do daily? And so, you know, I love that Sayvia kept talking about we just want to be who we are and kind of keep our mind focused on the moment. Because that's the process. It's, you know, what do we do to get ready for a basketball game? You know, what do we do in warm-ups? And so if we can keep our mind focused on that process, we have one game, and that's all we have to prepare for. And so I think if we can continue to stay in that mindset, we'll be playing our best.
Charles, we'll come to you. Charles, if you can identify yourself and your outlet, please.
Hey, Coach. Good to see you, Charles Hamaker with Circling Seattle Sports. Just wanted to ask you, I know maybe a little bit of this happened in the Big Ten tournament when you guys played, but what do you hope the nation sees with your group? I know you've talked about being a good team, and you know you've talked about the character of this group to us often back in Seattle. But what do you hope that the nation is going to see Thursday when you guys play out of your group?
I want them to know our young women more. I want them to know, obviously we've talked a lot about who they are, but these are incredible basketball players that they've really committed to knowing and learning the game. And you got an opportunity to be introduced to 3 of them today sitting at the table that, you know, they're really talented young women. And they've really learned how to play the game at a high level and help the people around them be better. I'm just excited for everyone to see them play.
Percy, anything else from you? From anyone on the Zoom? Charles, go ahead.
Sorry about that, Coach. Just I know you talked about you know, this group making it. You were asked about that, but maybe on a personal level, just because what she's meant to this program, how nice is it to see Dalayah getting some experience like this? I mean, you know, when we were with you on senior day, when Percy asked about her being a senior, she nearly cried. What does it mean for Dalayah Daniels to get this experience for how important she's been to this program and what you're building?
Yeah, I sat with her on the plane last night and thanked her. You know, she came back home and she came to Washington as we were, you know, building. And her commitment level to her team, to the young women on her team, to this university, and to the city is really special. She's worked incredibly hard. She's grown so much. She's become a tremendous leader, example for young women. And so I love Dalayah. I'm so proud of her, and I'm beyond grateful for what she's done for the university, for the program, and I'm excited for her to have this opportunity because she's earned it.
All righty. Thanks, Coach Langley. Appreciate it. Good luck. As a reminder, folks, Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you for joining us.